Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me. I am your host, Genevieve. Today in Becoming Lotus, we are going to talk about the thinning of the veil because Neptune is entering Aries on the 30th of March. And this is actually helping us to dissolve the old and the emerging of something very new. While we are stepping forward to it, we are invited to surrender to the mystery, to trust the unfoldings, and to embrace the alchemy of our souls. Just imagine for a moment, there is a silent war within each of us, a battle between the constructed self and the eternal self. Our ego, like a master illusionist that spins stories of who we are, regarding our name, our successes, and our failures too, while the soul is simply is. It is untouched by comparison or striving. What happened when Neptune, the cosmic dissolver, reached the critical threshold of Aries, the sign of birth? What will happen when Mercury and Venus, both retrograding in Pisces, beckoning us to look into the mirror of our dreams and illusions? And then we have Pluto, the Lord of transformation. He is extending his hand, offering a chance of rebirth. This moment is a sacred initiation. So at this very moment, we have Neptune in our Anaretic degree in Pisces. That is the doorway of disillusionment before awakening. This degree, sometimes also called the degree of fate, this carries the weight of accumulated experience, the last lesson learned before the transition into Aries. We all know that Neptune rules the intangible, the dreamscape, the unseen current of our existence. And in Pisces, the ruling planet, it has spent the last 13 years in illusions, revealing dreams, dissolving boundaries between the self and the divine. With this changing of sign from Pisces to Aries, reality itself may begin to blur or to clarify, depending on how it may influence your natal chart. Many may feel a deep sense of loss or disorientation. You may ask, who am I? If not this, our relationships, identities, beliefs that we hold so sacred may now seem like sand slipping through our fingers. But what if it is actually not a loss, but a return to something more essential, more true? This is also the moment when Saturn in Pisces stepped in as a cosmic sculpture, crystallizing that what is real and sweeping away which no longer serve us. as we know Saturn as the Lord of Karma. If we resist, we might suffer. But if we surrender, we allow ourselves to be reshaped by something even greater. And so, the arrival of Neptune in Aries is stepping into the unknown. That is a great alchemical shift. Aries, the first sign, the pioneer, the initiator, while Neptune, the dissolver of ego, he may now express himself through a fire that cannot be contained. This is the moment when we awaken, not just as a dreamer, but taking on the characteristic of Aries as warriors of consciousness. The fog is lifting, and we are left with something so raw, so unfiltered, the truth of who we are. And what can we do with this new vision? Will we still cling to the past, or we searching for a new path? This transit is not about the external change. That is the initiation of our very deep soul. We are being asked to let go of outdated versions of ourselves, to trust the process of transformation, to see through illusion and into the heart of truth. Perhaps most importantly, we are actually being invited to embrace uncertainty, not to fear it, but as a birthplace for all creation. This moment is very sacred. When we are standing at this threshold, will you step through it? That is the question we should ask ourselves. Before we move on, we should see the dance between Neptune and Saturn in the last 3 years. The struggle between boundlessness and structure. So, in the last 13 years, Neptune has been drifting through Pisces, its own boundless and ethereal domain. As the ruling planet of Pisces, Neptune dissolves barriers, thinning veils, and expanding our awareness of dreams, spirituality, as well as illusion. On the other hand, when Saturn arrived in Pisces 3 years ago, Neptune has been met with resistance that urge us toward forming boundaries, where before that it seems like an infinite space. The pairing of both Saturn and Neptune create an intrinsic dance, while Neptune seeks to transcend, but Saturn is demanding form, accountability, and realism. The karmic significance of these struggles intensifies because of the North Node, the point of destiny, now move into Pisces, with South Node on the opposite sign in Virgo. But since July 2023, if we remember, the nodal axis was in Aries and Libra. During the last 18 months, helping us to reclaim our individual willpower, to find the balance in relationship. And now, with the North Node moving into Neptune since the beginning of this year, the core has shifted to surrender, divine trust, and spiritual evolution. Meanwhile, South Node in Virgo reminds us of the need to release hyper-control, perfectionism, and the illusion that, with logic alone, it can provide all answers. As Saturn followed Neptune in Aries in just about 2 months difference, this polarity between boundlessness and structure will continue to play out in a bigger scale. Aries, a sign of initiation and self-assertion, will challenge both planets to redefine their roles. Will Neptune's dream survive the fire of Aries' self-discovery? Will Saturn create new structure for our spiritual truth? Or will Saturn resist the call of the unknown? The answer, I think, it lies in our willingness to embrace both surrender and discipline, faith and action, dissolution and rebirth. These karmic stands mirror the inner alchemy of our soul. In our life, if we have clung to some illusions, refusing to see some reality, where we have built walls too rigid to let the divine flow in. The power struggle between Saturn and Neptune is not about choosing one over the other, but about integrating the wisdom of both. And to understand this, we need to look at both Mercury and Venus retrograde in Pisces. That is our heart reflection. With both of them retrograde at the final degrees of Pisces, they act as the messenger of the unseen, calling us inward. Mercury, ruler of thought, reflection, and communication, he is urging us to reveal the story we tell ourselves. While Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and worth, she, on the other hand, is asking us to reconsider what we value, what is truly meaningful, versus what was an illusion. Together, they are whispering, "Look again. What have you overlooked in your search for love, for meaning, and for truth?" This moment of reflection is further amplified by the presence of Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto casts its transformative gaze upon Mercury and Venus. Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth, compels us to confront the shadows within our relationships, our values, and our perception of reality. Under Pluto's influence, both Mercury and Venus, they are no longer simply revisiting old memories or loves. They are undergoing a very profound metamorphosis. Mercury in retrograde, he is being stripped of superficiality. Under Neptune's boundless waters, He is dissolving rigid thought patterns. With Pluto intervention, Mercury cannot simply drift into illusion. This is a moment of piercing insight. The outdated mental construct must be abandoned. The stories we have told ourselves about who we are and what we desire can no longer be sustained if they are built on falsehoods. Pluto's demands raw truth, while Neptune washed away the last remnants of illusion. We are left with a very profound choice. Should we embrace a reborn perspective, or to cling to illusions that no longer serve us? With Venus, the goddess of love and attraction, she is finding herself in an equally intense process. Neptune may have once encouraged idealization, fantasy of romantic perfection, or even matrondom in love. But with Pluto's sextile, forced Venus to confront what is real. Are our relationships built on truth, or are they projections of unmet desires? Are we chasing validation through love, or are we truly connected to the essence of divine love within? This transit is stripping love of illusion. It is revealing where our attachments are. They stem from fear or from genuine connection. With North Node at 26 degrees in Pisces, joining this cosmic dance, pointing toward a collective destiny of transcendence. The past is dissolving. We are working towards our future as North Node are urging us to do. But are we willing to trust where we are heading? With Pluto involvement, this is not a soft surrender. It is a necessary and powerful transformation. A rebirth without illusion. A new vision of love, value, and self-worth is forming from the ashes of what no longer align with our highest truth. The old patterns are breaking. Will we embrace the unknown, or will we resist, only to be pulled deeper into Pluto's abyss? The choice is ours, but the heavens whispering, it is time to let go. I would like to share with you two mythology regarding Pluto for this process of transformation. Pluto at 3 degrees in Aquarius form a sextile to Neptune and the retrograde Venus and Mercury. They are whispering the secret of metamorphosis. Pluto, the lord of the underworld, understands what is destruction, but also about rebirth. Pluto does not destroy for cruelty. He strips away the false, forcing us to face what is indestructible within us. This aspect brings in a very potent opportunity. What if the chaos we are experiencing is an invitation to step into our highest power? What if Pluto, in this new Aquarian age, is not the force of death, but of sovereignty? There is a myth that speaks to this moment. When Inanna, the Sumerian goddess of love and war, descended into the underworld, she was stripped of her garments, her jewelry, and her title. At each gate, another piece of her identity was removed. She entered the void, naked, humbled, and undone. With this process, she emerged reborn, more powerful than before. Are we Inanna? And Pluto, standing at the gate, is asking, are you ready to leave behind the old self? Are you ready to step into your divine inheritance? And there is another story that I love a lot. That is the myth of Persephone, the daughter of Ceres. Persephone was abducted by Pluto and taken to the underworld. Once she was the innocent maiden of spring, like her mother Ceres. She became the queen of the dead, ruling beside Pluto in the depths of Hades, the inferno, the hell, the underworld. Her journey is one of forced transformation, but it is also about reclaiming power in the shadows. Persephone's myth teach us that descent into darkness is not an end, but a passage. The soul, when faced with underworld of fears and suppressed truth, has the chance to return not as a victim, but as a sovereign being. In her duality, goddess of both the living and the dead, she embodies the essence of Pluto's lesson to integrate both light and shadow, to claim authority over own transformation. With Pluto in Aquarius for the next 20 years, in this long period of time, we are being asked to navigate this descent consciously. Aquarius, the sign of radical change and awakening, seeking to break the chain of outdated paradigms, the structures that once defined us, whether it is personal, societal, or spiritual, all of which are being dismantled, offering us the opportunity to redefine what true power means. Like Persephone, we must learn to stand in our own sovereignty, unafraid of the cycles of death and rebirth that shaped our evolution. This is not an external transformation, but an initiation of our soul. Who will you become when you rise from the underworld? My thought on this important transit is to embrace the unknown, like spring with Ceres. This transit is an initiation. We are being asked to let go of outdated version of ourselves, to trust the process of transformation, to see through illusion and into the heart of truth. Perhaps most importantly, I think we are being invited to embrace uncertainty, not to fear it, but as a birthplace of all creation. As we are moving towards Aries season, the promise of rebirth and renewal emerges. Just like Persephone rises from the underworld, embraced by the warmth of her mother, Ceres, so do we can return from our own inner descent with newfound wisdom and strength. Ceres, the goddess of fertility and abundance, she reminds us that no matter how long the winter of the soul may seem, spring always comes. Life renews itself. Love prevails, and the seed we have planted in the depth of winter will soon blossom in the light. If the past few months we feel a little bit heavy, like illusion has crumbled, we must understand that all this has been part of a sacred clearing, cleansing, and transmutation. You are not losing yourself. You are shedding what was never truly yours. The love, the wisdom, and the truth remain indestructible, like the first sprout breaking through the winter earth. You are meant to rise, to bloom, and to step into the light of your becoming. Trust is the unfolding. Trust that love always triumphs. The cycle of life, just like heavens above, always move us toward greater growth, healing, and awakening. You are standing at the threshold of something so beautiful. Will you step through it? The universe has already said yes to you with this transit. Now it is your turn to say yes to yourself. With this, I thank you so much for walking together with me in this journey. From my heart to yours, Genevieve. Thank you again.